success. Mira Business FM.
It's the morning drive. It is time to talk gold in a few moments' time. We'll also, just as a look ahead, we're going to be talking cars this morning, but in particular luxury cars, garaging luxury cars, ordering the car of your dreams. Talking to a man who can get you any car you like. Might take a little bit of time, but anything you want, he will find it for you, and he's based here in Dubai. X Motors is the name of the company. More on that to come. In a few minutes' time, we're going to be talking gold. Jeff Rhodes is here, CEO of the Goldstream Advisory. He'll be talking about the week that was, and it's been, I think people use the phrase roller coaster ride a little bit too freely these days, but it has been, probably, in gold terms, a bit of a roller coaster ride, so it's a reasonable way to use the phrase. We are Mira Business FM. You can find us online very easily, mirabusiness.fm, the website. Contact us, info@mira.fm, and whatsapp.mira.fm will allow you to get in touch. Contact us, let us know what you think, tell us your thoughts on pretty much anything we do. Gold next, Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM. You're listening to Mira Business FM.
This is Mira Business FM. Mira Business FM. It is the morning drive. Not enough coffee this morning. That's the answer. Gold has been on its most stable bull run in years. I've used that phrase 2 or 3 times in the last couple of weeks. However, it surged. Shallow pullbacks over the last month or so, but this week that has changed. And I'm not overplaying it by saying that. Taking a look back at the week that was is our guest, CEO of Goldstream Advisory, Jeff Rhodes, is back. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good morning, Tim.
Morning to you, sir. So, it's been a week, hasn't it?
Quite a week. That was the week that was, Tim, and started on Monday with a bang, actually, with a rally to another all-time high. We've had a series of all-time highs.
Yeah, we have.
But we had the final kind of piece on Monday, and we got to a high of $4,381.
Mm-hmm.
And you pinned me down, not literally, but you
Well, I at least tied you to the seat,
tied me
Jeff.
to the seat and said, you're not going anywhere until you tell us what's going to happen this week. And you forced me into a decision I wasn't necessarily ready for, but the good old instincts are still there.
They are.
Because I said down, I think lower, if you remember.
You did.
Significantly lower. And on Monday, Tuesday, it actually fell by almost 9%.
Well,
It went to a low of $4,005 from just shy of 4,400, and even as an East Endoic, I can do that math, and it's almost 10% actually. And and then we didn't just stop; it then bounced back to around 4,300, then down again, and suddenly we're in a world where $100 bid offer spreads were quite unusual. That's wide, say over the last few years.
Yeah.
But now it's $200.
Yeah.
And suddenly $100 is really that's not worth talking about.
$100 spread now is
Yeah.
God, give me something interesting. When I was in Vietnam, it's that kind of thing.
It is
isn't it?
actually, yeah. And but to be honest with you, the market needed it. It needed a period of respite. It really wasn't healthy that day after day after day you had higher prices, because although that's good for some people, it's not good for others, particularly if you're a jeweler coming into Diwali, and even for retail clients going into the gold souk, and they're able to buy less gold than they would have liked to because of the higher price. So I think this respite of a lower price is good. Don't think it's over. I really don't think it's over. We do have a very big day today. We have the first economic data from the US for the last 25 days. How long has government been closed? But there's been no numbers coming out of the US since the government has been closed. Today we have the CPI. Latest consumer price index.
Yeah.
And that is a big number, certainly for gold watchers, because gold is the hedge against inflation, and we're looking at the inflation number today. So a big number, gold goes lower. A weaker number, then probably the rally resumes, it reignites. So big day today.
It is, and there's also, I don't know if we can term this positive yet, but the US and China trade tensions don't seem quite as tense.
They're less tense.
They feel less tense.
Less
it seems
tense.
that way, and I guess that's a confidence boost, isn't it?
It is, and the big driver of gold is always uncertainty, and particularly the Trump tariffs this year and trade and so on. The fact that they are meeting next week suggests a deal has either been done or is about to be done, and that will be good for the global economy. It will actually be good for the dollar, and gold will suffer if that happens. But of course, we're running into an FOMC meeting, the Federal Open Market Committee meeting, which decides on interest rates in the US. and of course we have that meeting next week, that almost certainly will end up with a 25 basis points cut in US interest rates, which is good for gold. So there's a lot of different factors coming into the market, which leads me to believe that the volatility we've seen continues.
That's the thing, isn't it? You've pointed this out a number of times, that President Trump is good for gold, but good for gold because you never quite know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the only certain thing about Trump's presidency is the uncertainty.
Yeah. Let me just look back at Monday, because I mean, as you say, I got the old plastic straps and tied you to the chair and said, Jeff, you've got to tell me what you think. You're thinking on Monday, and this is just as the Diwali gold rush is really about to happen, Monday and Tuesday, really. We could see a reversal of somewhere between 39 to 39.50. Now, fairly dramatic.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, you were not far off, because we got down to what, 4,000?
Yeah, 4,005.
Yeah.
It was, so directionally, it was a good shout.
It was.
I don't think, as I say, I don't think it's over yet. I think we're in for an interesting session today. And then that leads on to next week, where, as I say, the big story, and there are two big stories next week to watch out for. US-China talks.
Yeah.
And I think that's in South Korea. That's well worth watching for gold bugs.
Yep.
And secondly, there is the FOMC meeting, the Fed meeting to discuss interest rates, where definitely priced in is 25 basis points cut.
Okay. Headlines this week, just a couple. I mean, it's great to have a dramatic headline in the media. Gold and silver prices tumble. Is this a correction or the start of a crash? It's not quite as dramatic as that, is it? Or is it?
It could be, but in my opinion, we are in a fundamental bull market for both gold and silver.
Yeah.
I've been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks that we needed a correction. We are in the middle of that correction now. I think the correction has started. It may stop at 3,950, but if it were to break that number, then you're looking at 3,600. Technically, that's the next point of support. A move there, even from the top, would only be a 20% correction of the 60 or 70% that we've seen this year. That leaves it in bull market territory. So I do see a correction, maybe as low as 3,600, but in my humble opinion, that's the bargain of the century. So I would definitely be looking to buy some gold into that dip.
Fair. Diwali this week. Let's look at this in the context of Diwali and very much, I guess, retail buyers as well. And the impact on retail buyers. If you'd have bought 10 grams of 24-karat gold at peak prices over the course of the week, that's a potential loss, or an unrealized loss, I guess, of, what, $300. If you'd have bought 100 grams... it's $3,000. There was a jeweler, managing director of Liali Jewelry, said this week, if a shopper bought 10 grams at the peak price during Diwali, it cost him 5,250 dirhams. Now, the same would be 4,950. It's not a great amount of money, I get that, in kind of real terms at retail level, a few hundred dirhams at Diwali. It's a loss, I understand that. It's not... Because at this time, people are, it's a long-term view. This is jewellery to wear. This is jewellery as gifts. And I would kind of think, but it's irksome, isn't it, Jeff?
No, not at all. I'm completely on the other side of the camp there.
I can see your face there.
Because when you buy jewellery,
Yeah.
you're typically not buying, certainly if you're a guy, you're not buying for yourself, you're gifting. Okay, and
Yeah,
when you give a
generally,
gift is a gift. And the true value of that gift is the love that goes with that gift. And so you can't measure love in terms of 10% or 5%. If it's a gift, it's a gift, Tim, honestly.
Oh, I would try and get the discount, to be honest, all the time. But...
Actually, I'll tell you a funny story about that. There's one of the key leading figures in the diamond industry, I won't say his name. But he gave a speech once at the DMCC, and he was talking about diamonds and difference between diamonds and gold. He said, if you buy, gold as a gift, and you go back and you see your wife, you say, look, I've got this fantastic chain. Oh, I've got 10%, 20% discount. She'll say, yeah, well done, that's great. But if I buy her a diamond and then go in and say, look, I got this diamond and I got 50% off this, she'll divorce you.
That's the difference, and that's something you have to learn as a man. I think.
Yeah, you do actually, and but for me, you look at gold always in the long term, and I'm often asked the question, okay, when should I sell gold? Never. You never. This is a safe haven asset that you put away, you keep, and that is for your rainy day. That's when you really need something. But then you don't have to sell it. You can swap it. You can swap it forward. You can actually go to the man in the high street, the pawnbroker, and raise money. You can always raise money when you've got gold. So never sell it. Really, only buy it and then give it to your kids, and it goes on to their kids. It stays in the family. Honestly, people where I grew up in London, I don't know anyone that really, and we were in a poor area, no one ever sold gold. And I grew up with that ethos. So if you ask me when to sell gold, never.
Okay. The good news at the moment, though, is it's true, isn't it, that fundamentally gold is robust. It continues to look robust, particularly at the moment. Central bank purchases pretty much record highs, really, over 1,000 tons a year. They are. The World Gold Council's recently highlighted that official sector buying now accounts for pretty close, almost bang on 25% of total demand. So the stability that offers, and once again, we're back to that confidence, and there's a positivity.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's worth mentioning that the central banks that have been buying gold are not Western central banks. Western central banks have as much gold as you can think about. The Europeans, the big European central banks, their percentage holdings in gold, 60, 65%. The US, 75 to 80%. So the Western central banks really have enough gold. It's the central banks in Asia that really have stepped up to the plate. And of course, the Soviet Union, the former CIS countries have divested of dollars into gold. So it's been non-Western central banks buying. That's estimated. I've said this before, maybe on this show. So China, second biggest economy of the world. And Chinese love gold. We all know they're the biggest gold producers in the world. They're probably the biggest importers of physical gold in the world, along with India. But the percentage held in reserves of gold by China, have a guess.
I would not know where to start.
The average in the world is 20% at central banks.
Yeah.
So the big guys, the US, etc., big 60 to 80%. So China, what do you think would be their percentage held in gold? Given the fact that they love gold, they produce gold, they consume gold, what do you think the number is?
Well, the assumption would be high, but because you're here in front of me and I'm looking you in the eye, that's not the case.
4%.
That's
4%.
4%.
Now, the global average is 20. So 4%. So when you look at the potential for more central bank buying coming from Asia, it's definitely there. And even India, the real holdings of gold in India are privately.
Yeah.
Okay, they're privately held. And the central bank's official holdings are really low compared to really what the population holds. So there's lots of upside potential for central bank buying. The other thing is, and I said this before on the show, since the middle of this year, the funds have charged into gold.
Yeah.
Okay, so the value of ETF holdings, dollar value, compared to this time last year, they're up 100%. 100%. So it's a mix of obviously the value of gold has gone up 50, 60%, but there's a massive inflow of gold into the ETF funds, money into the gold ETF funds. And so you've got the big funds buying, you've got central banks buying, and Tim, you've got retail buying.
Yeah.
You know, we are in a golden age of gold.
We are, and I think that's possibly a Donald Trump phrase as well. I get the feeling I've heard that before. Do you not sit at times like this and kind of sit there twiddling your thumbs, thinking, yeah, this is okay, this is good. How do you feel? Because gold is, I don't want to, it's a bit corny to say gold is your life, but it kind of is.
It is, no, it is, and I don't know how I got into gold. It was just pure by luck than judgment. But it is, and I do really eat, drink, breathe gold, wake up in the morning, see where the gold price is, go to bed at night, where is the gold price, get up in the middle of the night, see where the gold price is.
The gills are gilded, aren't they?
So, yeah, it is, but to be honest with you, when I look back, I've obviously had a decent career, and financially fair enough, not bad for, as I say, from the East End of London, but it was never for money. It's never been about money for me. It's always been about the working with gold. For some reason, I have that affinity. I've got an interesting name in terms of Rhodes, and of course, Cecil John Rhodes was the founder of not just Rhodesia, or Zimbabwe as it is now, but Consolidated Goldfields was Cecil John Rhodes' company. So Rhodes is a bit of a name in the gold industry.
Well, it is, and it's kind of written in the stars. I was thinking about this today, and it's kind of a little bit off topic, but gold has this kind of allure. It's almost physical. You know that feeling? It always evokes a response. When you walk through the gold souk, the look, the feeling it gives you,
Electric.
It kind of is, yeah. It's something in the air. When I was a kid, the pirates' treasure chests mounted with gold. There's also a thing. I was watching Ocean's 11 the other day, the George Clooney Brad Pitt film, which is a film I love, and I love the soundtrack and the movie and the sort of caper of it. And I'd read a review that said, look at the fact that it was filmed in gold, and that's partly because it's in Vegas. Yeah. But it is, and there are times when Clooney and Pitt are outside and they're talking about something, and it's framed in gold, and it gives the movie another feel. But it's that...
It is. It really is. Gold fever really exists.
Yes.
And I'm sure, Tim, you've been to the gold souk with your other half, and you've decided you're going to buy some gold jewellery or diamond gold jewellery or whatever. Yep. You are going to do that. I'm telling you, every time you go in, you will spend twice as much as you thought you were going to spend. Okay? Because that fever comes in and logic goes out of the window and it becomes emotion. It is the most emotional of assets.
It really does. Well, I'll tell you a story. I bought my wife a diamond ring. She's long-suffering, so I thought it was overdue. But 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and we went to the Golden Diamond Park. And I'd chosen the diamond, and then... I didn't know how to get it framed in the ring and everything else. So we went in and they made it for her. Yeah. And we went into the workshop and the guy was buffing away at the ring and it was the most amazing experience to me. But you're right. It wasn't really a financial investment I was making there. It was an emotional investment.
It is an emotion. And as I say, it's a bit of an old-fashioned word, but it is an expression of love. So when you look at gold, and certainly gold and diamonds, it is, it's popular marketing to say that this is a gift of love, but it is true. And when you give a gift, you don't sell it. You don't.
Yeah, that's true, actually. It's much better than flowers, because flowers is generally, what have I done wrong? Yeah, what have you done now?
Yeah, and especially the flowers from Spinneys or just before you get in the door.
The petrol station.
Yeah, petrol station.
Yeah. Just don't buy the charcoal briquettes and offer those, because that's a very different thing.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
you're right. I think that's a really good point. Let me ask you, we've got a few minutes left, just about silver this week, because again...
Silver hit my all-time high. It just just shy of $55.
Yep.
But I think it was close enough for me to say no longer I bought the highest silver ever, because I did pay $55 in January 1980,
Yep.
not to be short, because I was convinced that day it was going to $100. And I'd never seen anything close, but over the last week or so, we saw just shy of $55. It's had a period of consolidation. It's become quite difficult to trade silver because the lack of physical availability. I've mentioned this before, but if you want to borrow silver at the moment, and you can lend and borrow gold and silver, it would have cost you 30% per annum, because there is no silver around. The refineries around the world who are processing doré bars, the semi-fabricated bars, and scrap, they have a big backlog of producing the ingots, the kilo bars, and so on and so forth, the smaller bars. There's probably a delay of about a month before you put in your doré bars to be melted and cast into kilo bars. Probably a month before you get your kilo bars. So silver is really in a short supply. It's hit technical targets, and now it's just, for me, it's consolidating. And I see this period of consolidation between $45 and $55 over a period of time. But before the end of this year, I think you'll see silver at $60 plus.
Okay. Well, I mean, mine output has kind of stagnated. Demand is there from industry, solar panels, electric vehicles, electronics. So that's still going up, of course. But silver hasn't matched with gold this week, has it? It's
not really.
Drops around 7% rather than the...
Not really, not this week. But over the year, silver is up significantly against gold. There's something called a gold-silver ratio.
Yeah.
How many ounces of silver 1 ounce of gold will buy you, right? And it got down to about 80 to 1, okay? Earlier in the year, it was well above 100 to 1. And it ended last year around 90 to 1. So actually, 80 to 1 was a very good performance for silver against gold. So, but it's an interesting phenomenon. Now, I hear huge amounts of physical silver are flooding into India. There's been a massive demand. Now, you would say, and I know you're looking at me, well, why is that?
Well, exactly.
Well, because gold at all-time record highs, but really expensive. So it's become a little bit too expensive. So the Indian families will go, okay, you know what, let's have silver. And there has been a huge increase in demand in India for physical silver. I think that has caused the shortage of silver in London and at the refineries. I do think this Indian demand is behind it all.
That makes sense. Well, then let me just ask you for your final kind of thoughts. We've got 2 minutes, and we've got a minute. Just on the Diwali week that was, Jeff. What do you think? This week that's just gone, Diwali. Overall thoughts on the week?
Well, I think you could look back and say Diwali 2025 was the all-time high in the gold price, and that one headline. It sums up that it really was a significant Diwali, and we came out of it. The gold market came out of it, and is still very strong. So I think anyone that received gold or silver this year can hopefully have much more in their pocket at the same time in 2026.
Lots of people still think $5,000 gold. Don't they?
I don't disagree. I do not disagree with that.
You've said that as well.
I probably disagree on timing.
Yep.
But it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Well, we're going to continue to talk to you. We'll see you on, what's it today? Friday today. See you on Monday morning. We'll look ahead to the week, bright and early, and then at the end of the week we'll examine what's happened again. Jeff Rhodes is the CEO of Goldstrom Advisory. Jeff, thanks once again.
Super, thank you.
Good to talk to you. It is Mira Business FM.
You're listening to Mira Business FM.
Elliot, and we have been talking real estate. Mario Volpi was here from Allegiance Real Estate. He's back next Wednesday morning. Right now, just after 10 past 10, Justine Dempt is with me. She is the co-founder of Shake Your Plants, or SYP, which I guess, Justine, means sip. Really.
Exactly. Good morning, first of all, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You are you're one of the founders of a UAE-born wellness startup that is, I'm reading my quotation marks here, redefining hydration through plant-based innovation. We'll get to what that is. Your mission is all about water as a source of wellness. These are lofty ideals. These are grand plans, aren't they?
Exactly. So what does that mean? That's your question, right?
It kind of is.
So we like to say that we put wellness in the water you drink every single day. And the way we do it is a very simple sachet that you can carry with you everywhere. It's a powder format that you add in your bottle of water, in a nutshell.
Good. Well, I mean, all of us carry water now. The water bottle has kind of taken over the world. Everybody seems to have one in a backpack, generally speaking. So it's the natural next step. The thing with water is, I know it's the ultimate hydration tool. It just doesn't taste as good as, fruity drinks, does it?
Well, that's the first thing. Second, to bounce back to what you were saying, I do think that shipping water everywhere in the world is kind of like an old idea. So if you think about it, we are shipping waters in bottle of plastics everywhere in the world. Like, I know it's part of our daily routine, but like if you think about it, isn't it kind of crazy to do that. I do think it's true that some natural source are very, very qualitative of the water, but like transporting it into plastic bottle, I don't know about it. I'm not an expert, but the thing is that I agree with you. Everybody is carrying a bottle now, a recyclable bottle, but they want to add more in that water because, like you say, it's a little bit boring to drink water. So you've seen like recently the rise of a lot of electrolyte brands in the US, in the UAE. I think it's fantastic. It's fantastic sport drinks, but it's a lot of sodium. And people, I think, drink it every single day because they like the taste, not because, because they run a marathon every single day. So what we do is that, okay, we understand you want to add something in your water, something that tastes good. Well, there is so much more than sodium that you can get from water. And that's where, our innovation comes in. So two of our first products are based on the kombucha, and I can tell you a little bit more on how we make it. It's quite interesting, but it's focusing on gut health, so pre and probiotic. And the third product that we currently have is some kind of hydration product, but based on coconut water and organic blueberries, so real fruit, which is quite different from anything in the market. We also have like a ratio of like sodium and potassium that is different than anything else. So the differentiator and our vision is really to use what is already in nature and have like a different way of producing supplements and surf on this water as a vehicle to push that into your daily habits.
Okay, which is a good thing. I mean, in a climate like this in particular, making sure that you have those 8 glasses of fluid a day, I don't quite know if that's the quantity now. That's a good thing because hydration is very important. Let me just take you back for a second to your background and talk a little bit about the science behind this. Because if you're talking about sodium levels, potassium levels, you have to look at this from a not just we're doing a good thing perspective, you have to look at it from a scientific perspective as well, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a certified health coach, but I am not a doctor in nutrition. My co-founder, Jacqueline, is. So she's been trained in the US, and she is very knowledgeable, not only as a food scientist, but really as a nutritionist. So in the past, we were formulating our product with nutritionist and food scientist. But now we really have like a co-founder. She joined us a few months ago to really take our products to the next level and the pipeline of products that we're launching as well in a very new direction. So she is really like the scientist and the science kind of voice behind, like everything we do.
Well, that gives the whole idea, the whole premise, I guess, the credibility that you're moving forward with best interests in mind, which I think is a good thing to hear. You've been around since what, 2023? You're a couple of years old?
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a journey. I exited another business in December 2019, and since 2020, I'm thinking about how can we push like all of this superfood, how can we push this kind of like wellness in people's habits? You see, like all the modern health crises come from basically what people don't do every single day. All these little small things that everybody knows they should be doing, like sleep better and eat better and, less sugar and more water and less vegetables, basically.
Yeah.
And these small little things all piles up and build, the modern health crisis of like cancer and Alzheimer and like all of those things. So recently, there's more and more studies that shows a link between those little small steps that we do every day, which is called wellness. And I was thinking, like, how do we push that in something that people do every single day? And water is the vehicle, I think, to do it. But to push people to do it, it has to taste good. Right?
Sure.
So, we put like a big emphasis on the taste, on the flavors, and on the sourcing of the ingredients. Because you've got a lot of different supplement or a lot of different brands that just go to a manufacturer and just say, okay, I'm a marketing machine. Please just build a product for me. And then I'm going to deploy product A, product B, product C, according to what you have ready, and then I'm going to focus on the sales and on the marketing. We have another approach. We are really trying to produce our product in a different way. So these products are produced, like the first product, the kombucha, is produced in the mountain of Taiwan, in the Alishan mountain. So where we have a tea plantation, it's a family business run. We harvest the tea, and then like when this is done, they harvest it 4 times a year. It goes to a facility where the kombucha is brewed. It's brewed with sugar and what we call the SCOBY. Most of the time they call it in China the mushroom tea, because it's a fermented tea. And then that moves to another facility where, like it's spray dry and basically turn the liquid kombucha into powder. So this is an example of like how we do it. It's not something that is purchased in Alibaba online, and then we just like like you have like add your logo here, and it's like there is a lot of research. The fermentation of the kombucha tea, the SCOBY, is giving back as fertilizer to the tea plantation. So we really try to produce in a more conscious way, and also to encourage people to therefore use like more conscious way water in their bottle and not plastic and all of that. So this is really kind of like the source of everything we do. And the same way, the second product, the hydration, is produced in the UK, because that's where we were able to find organic blueberries. So we go where the expertise is, and also where the raw materials are the best. So it's very far from being a marketing machine that just partner up with a facility.
It's amazing. So you're sourcing from Taiwan, and there's a whole process in that. You've had to go to the UK for organic blackberries. That's a process and a half.
So that's why you say we launched in 2023. Yes, officially we launched in October 2023.
Okay.
Before that, like it's been like kind of 3 years of trial and error, working with different manufacturing facilities, not reaching, like the product we wanted. In 2022, July 2022, we were ready to launch 2 products with a manufacturer based in Germany, and we had to recall 80,000 sachets.
For what?
Because the powder crystallized like 1 week before the launch. We realized that all the powder were crystallized in the sachets. So it's been an entire roller coaster of trial and error. So to answer your questions, yes, we're a couple of years old, but I feel I've been working on this project for like 5 years.
You've been working on this since COVID, haven't you? It's 2020.
It's been on my mind since COVID, on how, what format, what flavors, what products, it's been like a journey on sourcing the ingredients, sourcing the right manufacturing partners to work with us.
Is that because, and this is a slightly more personal question, I guess, but is it because, not just because, water is clearly a business, wellness is clearly a business, and if you could bring those together, it's a great business idea. Is it a more personal thing to you? Is it something that you feel quite strongly about?
In terms of values, yes, like we, from day one, we were like part of 1% for the planet, where we give back 1% of our revenues into a better kind of like to build a better place, like as cheesy as it sounds. But like the initiatives of 1% of the planet are focusing on cleaning nature, beaches, forests. They're focusing on initiatives that kind of regenerate forest also. So it's really part of who we are as founders, to believe in like, I don't see the point of producing a product that is just another product. And yes, we have a format that is a sachet, but like the sachets are actually 1% of the plastic of a single-use bottle of plastic. So, like it's a modern format, but still like it's part of like who we are as personal founders. Most of us are mostly plant-based. Most of us are adopting some kind of conscious lifestyle, like using less plastic at home. So it's really part of who we are as founder, how we consume, how we eat, and how we raise our kids. Yes.
Can I just make an observation? And I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn. And tell me, I'm a big boy. Tell me if I'm talking nonsense. But I'm looking at the packaging now, and it's I love the colours. The pink into the, I don't know, kind of a luminous lime almost.
Lemon lime, yeah.
It's kind of an orange lime there as well. It's reminiscent, though, of products that you would see pharmaceutically. There's kind of a pharmaceutical design element there. Am I speaking out of turn, or is that a conscious decision?
Well, it's funny you say that because never saw it. We thought it was quite playful actually, but that's the feedback that we got a lot.
Colourfully, it is playful, but
Yeah.
you could see it, and you'll see this on the camera. You could see that on the shelves of a pharmacy. Not that this is a pharmaceutical product, but you could see it stacked.
Yeah,
that way.
it's we got this feedback a lot, and actually we recently added a more I would say flavor appealing kind of drawing here. So we have like now a drawing of a grapefruit and here drawing of a pomegranate because we realized that there was a feedback that people were saying like we don't feel that we want that is going to be a delicious product, and like for people to drink it every single day they need to know that actually it tastes good. It's not just like another kind of like sport drink that's super sweet that tastes like very artificial. So we actually change it as we enter into retail at Spinneys and Waitrose. We made that change. So this is like this is my kind of old packaging. That shows also that there's almost not one batch of production that we are not improving. Like we very much listening to all the feedback that we have. We try to be super close with our consumers, and like most of the time, like we will check every single day, like what's the feedback, what's the rating, and like we will contact people on Instagram or by email. We even sometimes call our consumers, say, hey, like we heard that you had a concern about this ingredient, or like sometimes it's just like about explaining why we do that, because we're very transparent. So we write every single things, but there's so much noise that sometimes people get confused.
I mean, this is all part of the evolution of the business anyway, isn't it? It looks and it kind of screams healthy to me. When I look at that packaging, I think, oh, that's probably good for me. I just have the feeling that it probably is. So that's a thing.
You should try one in the water, actually.
I should do, actually. Well, look, thank you. What's that? This is a pomegranate kombucha.
Yes. Would you prefer the grapefruit?
I don't know. I'd probably mix them up and go with the flow. To be honest with you, just to see. I had to mess with the space-time continuum. Well, look, thank you. I'll try that in a moment. But look, let me ask you about a little bit more about the business and how you grow the business and how you go forward. I know that you've successfully closed 2 rounds of seed of funding, a pre-seed and a seed round. What can you tell me about what you've done, where you are, and where you're going business-wise?
So we originally did a round of pre-seed with different business angels, people investing in better for you food, people investing in better for the planet kind of project and startups that allow us to launch an MVP and really work on the formulation of our product. We were part as well of an incubator in the UK called Unrest World, specialized in same like kind of impact startups. So that did allow us to do that. And then recently this summer we closed we closed a seed round led by Mira Sajwani from Shark Tank. So all the numbers are on the TV show. So if you wish to know more about that, watch us on the Shark Tank.
That's on YouTube for sure.
It's on YouTube, exactly. Yeah. That was, by the way, such a great experience. Like it's kind of nerve-wracking. It's overwhelming.
Do you know, I want to ask you about that. I mean, I know that you've won an Innovation Startup Award, FMCG Startup of the Year Award. You joined the Spinneys Incubator Program. You featured on Shark Tank. But as is always the case, Shark Tank kind of trumps everything. There's that fascination with it. What was it like? What was it like in terms of pressure? Because the time flies by, doesn't it, when you do that pitch?
Well, yes and no, because, like when you're in front of the judge, you're like, oh my God, like, how long would that be? Because what you see online is probably, I don't know, like a 12, 15 minutes episode. I'm not quite sure. But like you need to think that we were there for like an entire day almost, like you're there for like a number of hours and then you're on stage for like maybe an hour or so.
Really?
So, like it's kind of because they cut and, like we said like a lot of other things and, like they're focusing on the main points, right? So, first of all, they gave us a date and I was at that time 9 months pregnant and I was like afraid. I was like, with the pressure, like being on stage, I just feel like I don't want to be like 9 months pregnant on stage. Like imagine like, I don't know, something happened, like my water breaks or something, I
was
just
going to
don't want to
say,
do that.
but a cynic would say that would get you some sympathy, so could help.
Well,
but
I
I'm
was
not
like,
sure.
please, can you schedule us, like at the very last. So we were the last day, the last startup
Right.
to record basically, and that allowed me to give birth and then like to give me 2 weeks. So my baby was 2 weeks old when we were like on stage. So my husband came, the nanny came, everybody was like like mobilized, and I was getting ready because you need to build like all of your sets. So
Yeah.
they help you, but like it's kind of your responsibility to bring all the product, to make it look nice. They're very good. They really guide you on how to do it, but it's on you. And then when everything is ready, they are in charge of like moving that very quickly on set. So we were there, I was doing my hair, breastfeeding, giving back the baby, trying to prepare the samples, going back, breastfeeding. So that was like such an experience. And then everything goes kind of quick and long in the same time because first of all you have the music and the doors open and you enter and like it's like and then you prepare your text and suddenly like one of us choked and we could not like remember what we were like, but thankfully the judge, the sharks were amazing and really they really believed in our project. So we got 3 offers and they were very kind, and we're very, very proud to be now a partner with Amira Sajwani.
I know it's on YouTube, but just tell us what did Amira Sajwani offer you? Just for the record, really.
So what I can say is that we got a part of cash, and the most important part is actually a 2 million a 2 million interest-free line of credit.
Okay.
And that makes all the difference for us. And so would that be for many businesses in the UAE, because as a small business, you don't really have access to loan from banks. You don't really have access to short-time financing from different institutions because you just don't have like that exists, but for a little bit more mature companies. So you start to have like 2-3 million dirhams revenue, then you have like different options. But below that, like, okay, you have a bit of traction, you've got an MVP, but yet, like you don't have that many options for financing. And in my case, I've got a lead time of 10 weeks. And the MOQ of my product is quite large. Like every time we do a production, it's around like 100,000 products.
Right.
So it requires some kind of working capital. So I think she was absolutely. Amira Sajwani was absolutely spot on what really SIP needed, and that made all the difference for us. And I think, by the way, that a larger, like kind of a global conversation, I think it would be interesting to speak about this line of credit and like invoice financing solution for startups or small and medium companies in the UAE, because that's, I think, where to grow this segment, that's where like the country should be going.
That's a familiar issue, isn't it? It's an issue with lots of entrepreneurs here. I've heard that argument many times, and it's a situation where you are offered that little bit of breathing space when you need it, and that ability to look forward and project forwards as well, isn't it? It allows you that. You're entering a new phase of growth. I read the press releases. New Chief Innovation Officer, you mentioned earlier on. We've got a minute or two left, but what will the new Chief Innovation Officer bring to the business as it stands now?
So Jacqueline has personally a fantastic network. She's based in Singapore, so with experience in the US. So that's open, both that open up doors, and we always saw SIP as a global company. Of course, our focus and marketing budget is focusing on the UAE, but we have a presence in the UK, from, like our participation in the incubation program in the UK, we always like imagine that we can produce everywhere in the world. So we're now very proud to partner with a very famous doctor in the US on our next product that will be launched in the US and in the UAE. So that all of that comes from Jacqueline. So it's not only that she's knowledgeable on what she's putting in every single of the product that she's currently developing for us, but she's bringing an entire network of professionals, of investors that believed in her in the past also, because she had her own like product line of supplements in the US. So she really brings a lot on the table, not just like from a scientific standpoint.
Okay, and I guess is a strawberry thing her first potential new product? Because is that not her surname as well? Fraise.
Fraise, yeah.
Fraise is, French for strawberries, I believe, from my schoolboy French in the back of my mind. Look, there's a lot that I want to talk to you about, but we're going to have to bring you back and look a little bit further down the road. Hopefully you'll come back and join us.
With great pleasure.
It would be
Anytime.
nice, very nice to have you here. Just before we go, Faraj is our man behind all the technical stuff here. I don't really know what he does. He presses lots of buttons and it seems to work. He's just been trying your, which flavour was it? It was the pinky flavour, I think it was. There you go. So
the pomegranate one.
The pomegranate flavour, kombucha. Just let's get an opinion from Faraj, see what he thinks. So this is apropos of nothing. This is completely unplanned.
Yeah.
Faraj, what do you think of the flavour?
So yeah, it's. I just wanted to ask one thing: is it like a supplement for like electrolytes as well?
So yeah, it's a good question. So electrolyte is basically minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium. This product is focusing on the gut health. Gut health is where 70% of your immune system reside. So a happy gut is usually, like source of like a happy life. Like what you see is like a better skin, is less bloating, but really it's having like an unbalanced microbiome is really giving an open door to all kind of like inflammation that can lead to like further health issues in the future. So that's why we launched this product. So to answer your question, it's pre and probiotic. It's not a supplement as such, but it's a nice add-on. The same way that you would not have all of your protein from a protein bar or a protein shake in your life, but like it's a nice add-on to have on your in your routine. So yeah, that's what it is. But tell us about the taste.
Yeah, that's the key, the taste. Tell us about the taste.
Tastes incredible. I like it.
Tastes incredible. There you go. That's a glowing recommendation, I think. Do you know, I've really enjoyed talking to you. I knew nothing about the topic at all. Justine Demp's the co-founder of Shake Your Plants, SYP or SIP, a wellness rehydration, plant-based startup here in the UAE. I wish you all the best and come back and tell us more.
I come back anytime you want to have me. So thank you very much.
It's great to have you here. This is Mira Business FM. We're going to be talking a little bit later on in the show. We've talked real estate. We've talked hydration. We will be talking business continuity with our resident tech guru, Mazal Sheikh. That's coming up. And also the future of live streaming here on Mira Business FM.
You're listening to Mira Business FM. Mira Business FM.
Justine Dampt joining us on the program. She is one of the co-founder of SIP, SYP, Shake Your Plants, which is a plant-based hydration idea. Powdered, I don't know, it could be blueberry, it could be grape. I mean, who knows? Lots of different flavors available. The story behind that. Also, Jeff Rhodes with us talking about gold here on the Morning Drive. This is Mira Business FM. Coming up, we're talking cars, in particular supercars and luxury cars, maybe even hypercars as well. That is to come in a few moments here on Mira Business FM.
You're listening to Mira Business FM. You're listening to Mira Business FM.
It's the morning drive. Welcome to the show. If you just joined us at mirabusiness.fm, that's the website. If you're with us on YouTube, hello. If you're with us on Rumble, if you're watching this clip on social media, welcome also. info@mira.fm is the contact number. whatsapp.mira.fm to find us on WhatsApp to send messages, photos, whatever it is you want to send through, get in touch. Now, on the morning drive, it's cars. Jacek Ziomek has lived in the world of luxury and super premium cars for over 25 years. He's been in sales, after sales, ownership support, really everything around high performance and exotic cars. There is no shortage of those kinds of vehicles on the roads here in the UAE. Now, since 2017, he's been based in Dubai. He's currently managing administration across a group of automotive companies focused on new supercars and spare parts. He says, and I quote, "Long story short, supercars are my business and a big part of my life." Jacek, I'm thinking you say a big part of my life because you have a wife that is the main part of your life.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to meet you. Good to have you here. Look, we could talk for hours. We've been talking off air for probably 20 minutes about cars.
Yes.
I probably asked you all the questions I was going to ask you in the interview, but we're not short of conversation. Let's just start with your background. You're from Poland originally.
I'm from Poland, and I started my journey into the automotive 1999.
Okay.
And the idea was to find a place to service my cars.
Right.
And I
Right.
opened the garage.
Okay.
And then I started with the Alfa Romeo. Then I realized very close to Alfa Romeo is a Maserati. Close to Maserati is Ferrari. And then nearby is a Lamborghini.
Let me just ask you that. I mean, they're all kind of in the next town or the next
Yes.
valley in Italy, aren't they? But I kind of feel, my father had an Alfa Romeo in the late 70s, an Alfa Sprint 1.5, and it was a really nippy little car. He's a car guy. My father is a real petrol head kind of thinker, okay? And I always kind of felt that Alfa Romeos, I think, are lovely, but they're kind of a stepping stone to the next stage of Italian cars. Was that the way it was with you? You kind of thought, well, I can see where I'm going here.
If you dive deep into the Italian cars, you will understand that it's like one family, and let's say they know each other. You know this joke why the Alfa Romeo drivers don't say hello at the road each other, because they seen already in the garage.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. So we're on that kind of track, really. So you essentially decided this is what I want to do. This was a career move for you, but also something that you...
All the boys love cars, right?
Right, okay.
So it's simple, okay? I've been deep into the two industries in my life, the cars and IT, but mostly cars. And if at the same time of at some point of my career, I realized that those things are going together, because the brand new cars are mostly built of electronics. We discussed also about the Chinese cars rise, so it's far from my point of interest. But
well, I want to ask you about Chinese cars a little bit later on, but I really want to talk about supercars now. So you built your garage up in Poland. What brought you to the UAE?
One of my customers decided to build a garage in the UAE to grab the investors from this market to Poland.
Okay.
He was right, because the garage and the reputable garage is the best networking in the world, in my opinion, because those guys that trust you blindly. They're giving you the keys, the cars. They never give to their wives or kids. So
I think that's
building
true.
the trust, and it worked also here.
Yeah. Well, that's true in car ownership in general, isn't it? You know, when you buy a car from a trusted brand, you like the car, you service the car at the branch, at the garage, under warranty, and when you hand over the keys, I would defy anybody to not feel something like, don't scratch it or don't do this. But with supercars and hypercars, the performance vehicles that you deal with, that's amped up even more.
But you have to take care about your customers, because they're very specific. Even the such small things like you hand over the car out of the service. The clock in the car has to be set also.
Yeah.
Small things.
The radio station's back. Or
Yeah.
all of that kind of thing.
If something is wrong, even the seat is not in the same position, they are angry. They will never tell you. But I know it's, you sit in your car back, and after 1 kilometer, you know that something is wrong. What they did wrong.
Yeah, if it's just a little bit too high, a little bit too low. And if you're particular about your vehicle, if you have a real love for cars, then this is even more important. If you're buying a supercar, clearly you are in that bracket.
With a supercar, you have it two ways, right?
Okay.
First, the official one, you have to build your portfolio and create your own car, because they're giving you the opportunity to create everything now. Before, it wasn't like this. But now all the brands like Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini giving you the choice of each part of the car, how it should look, right? Before, the hypercars were like this, when you was building your Bugatti. But so this is the official way, and the second way is to find something at the market, which more or less is approvable by you.
Okay. It's interesting that you say, you throw a throwaway line like when you're buying your Bugatti. It's not something that I've ever said or thought. I've got to be honest with you.
But the Bugatti is a good example of taking care about everything.
Bugatti is a good example of many things.
Because we spoke before about the speed record, right?
Just off air, we were talking about the speed record, the Chinese car that's just set that. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think they took care about everything which Bugatti did with their cars, making the same. Even the special kind of tires, everything is supervised.
Okay.
I think they didn't do.
Well, that's the difference in research and development, isn't it? We'll come to that again later if we have time as well. Let me look at what's in your showroom at the moment, because, the thing about talking to you is...
We are under construction of the showroom, honestly speaking.
What's in the collection?
What's in the collection? At this moment, most significant, two Bugattis, Chirons. I think the 12 cylinder.
Horsepower? Could you give us a horsepower estimate?
Doesn't matter.
There? Doesn't matter? No.
1600.
I know. I want that because it's just outrageous.
Who cares?
It's funny. I said to Faraj yesterday, we were talking cars very briefly, and I said, I think my Jeep has about 12 horses, something like that. It's lost a few along the way. So, equivalency isn't a thing here. So, Bugatti Chirons, what else have you got?
We have two of them. One is the Pure Sport, one is the Super Sport.
Okay.
And in a simple words, the owner, I asked him, what's the difference? He said, this one makes 400, this one makes 500.
Okay. That's still a difference, I guess. Well, what's a car like that worth? If I was to come to your showroom,
you can say the proper Bugatti with no mileage or very low mileage, we can say it's around 20 million.
Dirhams?
Dirham.
20 million dirhams. Okay. So that's around about, $4 million? More than that, nearly $5 million. Okay. Yeah, I'm not coming around to buy that. So what else have you got in the collection?
There are many things are changing. So we had, of course, the last year electric Spectres. They are sold out. Regularly, we are selling the G classes, which is the most popular. It's not a supercar, but let's say the luxury SUV.
Super popular luxury SUV. Yeah.
And we are trying to get them in our own ideas, like the special configurations which are not known here at the market, the special colors. We have still, I think, in a stock yellow one, which is very rare. With the black interior and the yellow stitches. Okay. It's very nice configuration, mostly chosen by the Ferrari owners, not the
G
class.
Right.
uh, Cullinan 296. Uh, Last week we received the 911 GT3 992.2. Okay.
Okay.
There is a nice story behind, because previously, if you know, the Porsche last year released the ST,
Okay.
the 911 special edition manual only.
Right.
We had one in our showroom, and that was a funny story, because one of the Saudi guys bought it for his friend as a gift, birthday gift. We told him, sir, but the problem is the car has a manual transmission. It would be kind of problem. Doesn't matter. It will stay in the living room only. So
It's an ornament. Wow. Okay. This is the thing with this, and I mean, I appreciate a nice looking car for the car, but a car for me is a transportation thing, and I think that's the way for most people. The point is, isn't it, that supercars are very different.
It depends. You're driving in a normal metro wagon or in the gold wagon, right?
Yeah, well, that's exactly the point. I'm not driving a gold wagon,
Okay.
clearly, but they're not just vehicles, is what I'm saying. They are vehicles, but there's a lot more.
You have to
it.
feel it also.
Yeah. There is. It's funny. We were talking gold earlier on, and there is an investment aspect. There is an emotional aspect, and it's the same with this, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes people are buying the cars as an investment, don't touch them at all, and waiting for the, let's say, to stay against the inflation. Sometimes it's better than keeping the money in the bank, right?
Sure. Well, what kinds of cars do that? Because generally speaking, you drive a car off a lot and it drops in value.
It's similar to playing the kind of gambling, because some of them you predict it should be the bullseye, but it's not.
What would be
like we spoke with before, the Ferrari 458, the special edition. Always the Ferrari has a special edition of each model.
Right.
Like we had a 430 Scuderia, we had a 488 Pista, we had a 458 Speciale. This is special edition of this model. So those kind of cars giving you the 90%, 95% sure that it would be good investment.
Okay.
Some of them are completely unavailable. Some of them you can get, but even as the first owner, you can count on the 20-30% profit selling it after a couple of years.
Let me ask you something about your business. The investment side, it's very hard to narrow down numbers, but in terms of your business, there are lots of companies that offer supercars. You can hire a supercar for a couple of hours here, a weekend, whatever you want here. Lots of companies do it, but what do you do that you believe makes you stand out from the crowd? What do you need to offer to be better? Because this is a very niche market. You have to be really good.
This is hard market as well, because
tough.
When the car is announced, probably it's sold out.
Okay.
If Ferrari is announcing the car, you are sure that everything is sold out.
Sure, and the waiting list is 2 years, whatever it is.
There's no waiting list.
There's no waiting list.
There's no waiting list because, for example, 250 pieces and all of them are sold.
No, but for you to get your car, you're going to wait how long?
2-3 years.
Yeah, okay.
If you are good customers, you have an information before to stay in the line, or they are approaching you as a good customer, giving you the opportunity to buy.
Okay. And you need to prove that you
some cars are like I said, bullseye. Some of them you have to wait years. That was a good example. Is remember the first 4-wheel drive Ferrari FF?
I don't, but
it's a 4-seater.
Okay.
Front engine V12. It's complicated in a technical way because Ferrari created 2 gearboxes in this car. One is in the back of the car, one is the front of the engine, and the front gearbox has only 3 gears, okay, and is turned off after you reaching 120 kilometers per hour, okay. So since then you have only rear-wheel drive.
Right. Okay.
Of course, it makes a lot of issues under warranty, and then also for the second, third, and fourth owners. But at the beginning, the car was. Everyone says it's ugly. It's not a Ferrari. It's not a real Ferrari. Slowly, the value of the car stopped. Now it works with most of them. The value is not going down. The cars are disappearing from the market and showing after a year or 2 or 3 with the new price only the best ones.
Okay.
And I think this is a good idea, but you have to wait years. So in the kind of, you cannot consider this as a good stuff for trading. You can trade with brand new cars when the value is high. A good example is last year G63. Everyone wanted the car, okay? But now it's a common. You can buy it everywhere. Everyone has it in the portfolio, in the stock, so it's not so hard to get it.
Well, that's the issue as well, isn't it? It's hot, and then it's not hot anymore. There's nothing really novel about it anymore. People don't want it, and all of a sudden, those kinds of cars are available again. Unfortunately, it's a hard business to be in. But can I ask you a very simple question? What's the difference between a supercar and a hypercar? Is it a financial difference? Is it a research?
The borderline is fluent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Before it was like everything is below, which is below 3 seconds below the 0-100. Okay.
Okay.
It's a hypercar. Now we can say it's everything which is up to 2.5 is a hypercar. But the better description is everything above $1 million is a hypercar.
Okay. So not necessarily.
There are some cars like a new Revuelto, the successor of the Aventador. Okay. It's a borderline.
Right.
It's a supercar which we can consider as a first step to the hypercar world, but it's not so exotic like Bugatti, Pagani, Koenigsegg, these brands.
Right. Okay. And those would all be classic examples of hypercars.
And this is also 3 most appreciated hypercar brands, like I said, is a Bugatti, Koenigsegg, and Pagani.
Okay.
And sometimes, like before, always people were asking me, which is better, Ferrari or Lamborghini? So the answer is simple, the brunette or blonde. Okay.
What do you like?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
With the hypercars, it's different. You have a Bugatti, which has a huge heritage.
Yeah.
You have a Pagani, which was built by the Lamborghini engineer, Orazio Pagani, because they rejected his project of build a car made of carbon fiber only.
Right.
That was already in the hand of Audi. And you have a Koenigsegg, the genius engineering. Okay. So from 3 of them, I know the prices are high in each of them, but the Bugatti is the real one, I think.
Okay. Is there one, in terms of your business and your experience, is there one particular popular brand? I'm guessing you're going to say Ferrari. I don't know.
Yeah. Ferrari is
the one,
yeah,
really?
Ferrari. Always Ferrari.
Always Ferrari.
Whatever
okay.
they announce, whatever they release, it's always a good choice.
Okay. Let me ask you a little bit about Chinese cars, because last month we saw a global production car set a new top speed record, just a shade under 500 kilometers an hour. It was set in Germany. It's the track edition of the BYD Yangwang U9, which is a production car. It looks like a supercar to me. 3,000 horsepower.
Would you try?
Apparently. Would I try it?
Would you try to break this record?
Would I try to break this record? No, because I do not have the driving ability. I've got to be honest with you. But I'm interested in that. It's a Chinese car that's done it. We see Chinese cars on the roads of Dubai all the time. I constantly confuse the T2 for the Defender. I was saying to you off air.
And there is a one kind of Chinese car which looks like a Range Rover as well.
There is. You're right. Absolutely. I don't know the make, but more and more we're seeing Chinese cars come into the market. I just wonder, what's your opinion of the Chinese car market? Because we're going to see it more wherever you go in the world.
If you give me a choice to get a car from A to B only, I prefer Japanese car, which I never had in my life.
All right. Why have you never had a Japanese car? That's interesting. You just.
It's like Japanese cars are full of emotions, like a fridge. You opening the door, the light comes up.
It
Closing
does.
the door. No emotions.
Okay.
It's functional. It's good. It's reliable. Keeping the value as this.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
there are no emotions.
Okay. So you have to be connected before you get into that. You have to feel something. Okay.
But
We're back to where we
going back to
started.
the Chinese cars, we have a problem because they are offering the good design, even if copy pasted.
Derivative, I think they would say. They would term it derivative. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there are many similarities between many designs.
Good interior, a lot
Yeah.
of options.
Yeah.
But the technology from the 90s under the hood, whatever they say.
In terms of the research and development that's gone into the car, it's not the most.
As they copy pasting the designs.
Okay.
They're doing the same with the powertrain, but it's more complicated that create the aluminium, right?
Right.
So they are buying the ready solutions from the past,
Okay.
like the Japanese solutions from the past. But if you take a look at the past, the same was doing Kia and other Korean brands before.
Yeah,
Right.
sure. Well, to be fair, you have to start somewhere.
But it's slightly different. Slightly different because they're convincing you by the design, interior, but not telling you about the technology.
Okay. But then there's the electronic technology which is layered on top, which I think seems to look in most cases.
I'm not talking about the electric cars because it's a different story.
Okay.
Different story. In the electric cars, I think, it's my opinion, that Tesla is the king.
Okay.
And nothing else at this moment. The Porsche just behind. But
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Even though we've seen Tesla go through all these issues,
The advantage of the Tesla is because they are grabbing a lot of data and learning from this data.
Yeah.
They sold a lot of cars, and all the data, all of data is going to the Elon servers. So they know how to make it in a proper way.
Okay. And you don't think the Chinese cars are near the level of Tesla or you said Porsche?
I don't think so at this moment.
Okay.
Probably yes, but not yet.
They are popular.
Yes, of course.
And that's really a price difference, I guess. Would you see that that's the differentiator in this in most cases?
Have you seen sometimes people afraid to buy something if it's too cheap, right? If I will offer you the brand new iPhone for $100, what you say? Probably fake, right?
I would guess, yeah.
The same story with the cars.
Okay. You pays for what you get, I suppose.
Yeah, we can say like this.
Let me just ask you a couple of quick questions. We're running a little bit over time, actually, but in terms of the things that you offer, I'm interested in how in the product offering that you have for supercars and supercar owners. It's not just about selling somebody a car. It's about maintaining the car properly. It's about valeting the car properly. It's about servicing the car properly. It's about even storing the car in the right way, isn't it? I mean, all of those things are much more important when you move to the level of vehicle that you
Yes, that's true. That's true. So the customer sometimes, mostly expects all of them, all of the stages to take care. We're giving them what is available because we are, except the cars, we're selling the spare parts, so we're trying to give them the support for the spare parts. We also store the cars.
Mm.
But about the service, I'm not sure I'm ready again to jump into the same pool.
I'm not
Okay.
going to ask you to jump
But,
in somewhere you
because
don't want to.
it builds the credibility, but still it's very hard
Okay.
because you have to follow the trends in the electronics, mechanics, learn yourself, build your team, and keep the team also updated. It's not easy. We're still doing it in Poland, but it's a bit easier than here.
Okay. And I guess environmental conditions here, the heat has an impact
The
as well.
heat and the reason
The
is to
dust.
convince the people, the specialists, to come here.
Mm.
If you give them a proper salaries, it makes the business not so reliable.
Okay.
We are not a corporation, so
No, it's a very bespoke service. I understand that. What's a final question? Just a quick question, and I'm asking you for the particular vehicle and also the price potentially as well. What's the most wanted, most sought after car in your experience of the last?
there is no good question. There is not a good question.
There's not a particular car that people are after.
No. If the most important is the relation between the car and the price.
Right.
If you have a good price for the car, like the mentioned before, we spoke about the LaFerrari.
So people will compromise.
LaFerrari, if you offer the good price for the Ferrari, it disappear in a while.
Yeah, but but in your experience, what have most
The market
customers
changes.
asked for? Is it?
The market changes.
Yeah.
So there is no such a thing, like you said. For example, today, if you have a good, we spoke about the 458 Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
458 aperta means without a roof. Okay, it's most wanted car, for example. That's a good example.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm asking, really.
Because people are asking for the car, thinking about the price from the past, but the price is rising.
Sure.
So
It's an investment piece, perhaps an ornament to some people, as the Porsche you talked about earlier. Was it a Porsche you talked about earlier? It was, wasn't it? That somebody bought for their friend. Look, there's so many questions to ask. You're going to have to come back.
we can talk about the cars a long time.
Yeah, check. We really could. I really appreciate you being here. Jacek Ziomek, I have to get that right, is from X Motors, building a new showroom at the moment, a new environment, even, I guess. Really.
It would be a boutique place and a place for the people who want something unique.
A new boutique, indeed. Look, good to talk to you. We'll have to get you back. Will you come back?
Waiting for your call.
Brilliant. Nice to talk to you. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you. It is Mira Business FM, talking cars.
You're listening to Mira Business FM.
It is Mira Business FM. It is the morning drive with me, Tim Elliott, and we're joined now to talk the future of live streaming, which we are actually in the middle of right now, every day. This is what we do with the program. But we're going to talk to Noor Abdalal, who is the managing director of Space Live Productions. The future of live streaming it is. Noor, thank you for coming in to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. It's live streaming is your thing. Gladly, we are generationally different. This is your thing. You're the youth, the future. You are the MD of Space Live Productions, but I want to ask you about that in a moment. And there's another title as well. We'll come to that. You're a busy guy.
Kind of.
Tell me about the early days, where this came from for you, because this is not just you're a young guy, you stream everything naturally, everything happens on the internet. Your career began in filmmaking.
Correct. So my career began in filmmaking. I studied digital production and storytelling in the American University in Dubai, Mohammed bin Rashid School of Communication.
Right.
And in uni, I've learned almost everything. This program has taught me everything when it comes to filmmaking, from digital production and storytelling. So digital production, cinematography, producing. You learn how to direct. So I graduated almost knowing how to do everything when it comes to the media industry.
So the real practical experience of the new media industry, the digital media industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. And then once I graduated, I'm the kind of person who likes to, let's say, learn a lot of things at the same time. So then I got into drone operations, and I know how to fly FPV drones and all sorts of drones. And then I got to live streaming and event direction. And this is where, from events, this is where I developed everything when it comes to live streaming.
Okay, and is that because you, it's just the way things are now? I mean, my son is just a little younger than you, and everything he does is connected to a device in some way. Mm-hmm. All of his communication, pretty much everything he does works in that way. And I wonder if it's because that's just the way it is, or is that because there's particular interest that you have?
It's mostly like a particular interest, because for me it's that we're all used to like the content that's being out on social media, the pre-recorded content. Yeah. And right now with the rise of AI, you can see how easily you can just generate a video in like 3 seconds.
You really can.
But with live stream, what I love about live stream is that you can't do that with AI yet. And you will need actual people, skilled people who will be able to perform on or host like a radio show or a podcast to keep the show going and interesting for any of the viewers.
Okay.
And this is where I felt like, okay, I'm doing something that's a bit different and requires a lot of skill, requires a lot of multitasking. You always need to be on time. You always need to make sure that everything's calculated right, especially with events, merging live events and with live streaming and making sure that the show is matching everything. That was the biggest challenge for me, and this is where I learned most of my skills as well.
That's an interesting point to me, because I think people view recorded online content, your standard influencer stuff, the pre-recorded stuff, and equate it to the live situation, and they are two very different worlds.
Absolutely.
The world of editing, I mean, editing, as an influencer is paramount. It's key. It's the thing, and it means you can create engagement. But the editing process may be 12 hours for a minute's worth of video. But in a live situation,
you only have one take.
You've one shot, and that's it, baby. I mean, that's how it works, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and especially with live events, it's a bigger risk, because you won't only have to depend on the presenter, but on the team behind the cameras, behind the stream, who are managing the graphics. These are all elements that we can just look at the stream and then think, oh, it's normal. So we can have a graphic displaying my name over here, but they don't know what's happening behind it. They don't know there's a graphic guy typing every single letter and having it queued at the right time with the show caller behind and with the live stream director directing him to make sure that everything is going at the right time. And all of this can be messed up pretty easily if we won't have everything calculated to be done at the right time.
I mean, we kind of take it for granted because we're all used to watching the Oscars live or watching, a football match live. But I still think the older I get, the more I think I watch Premier League football quite often. Many people do, and it always occurs to me when watching it, this is happening right now. This is going on right now. I'm watching this as it happens, and I still find it a mind-blowing concept. I know I'm I'm probably old. Look, you're the MD of Space Live Productions. You're also the creative director and a marketing manager at the Space Events and Sports. So, hence my comment that you lead a pretty busy life. You're trying to build immersive experiences. That's something that I got from your website, I think. What does that mean? What kinds of things are you doing?
So, us as the space, we're almost like an ecosystem of blending events and live experiences. So with the space, we host a lot of events in our venue. So the space is a very high-end venue with a lot of immersive experiences and screens as well.
Okay.
And we, for example, one of the biggest events we host there are the slap fighting championships.
I've seen that. I wanted to come to that later, but you've mentioned it now. I don't know what slap fighting is. It's literally what
You have to watch it.
is this the slap across the
We
face
can have
thing?
one right now.
I'd rather not, but thanks for the offer. So, although that would get some viewers.
Yeah.
So slap fighting is that the thing where you build up and you slap and you have to put the person? Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
That's
As simple as it sounds.
it's gruesome, but weirdly engaging.
It is very engaging. So from our slap fighting championship, we're near almost over 6 billion impressions. Just
Huge.
very huge, just from someone getting slapped.
There are so many questions going through my mind. The ethics of this. I mean, clearly these people are in this and they are willing participants. That's the first thing to say. This is not to victimize people, but it's a hard thing to get used to, the idea of.
It's very hard, and you would be surprised how those athletes, they take it very seriously and they train for it.
Right.
And it takes a huge amount of strength to be able to handle, and technique as well. So it's not as simple as it sounds. Someone would go and slap. No, there are a lot of rules and safety measurements that we take before the fights and during the fights to ensure that no one's at risk at all as well.
Okay, but that's just part of the kind of fight side of the
Yeah.
business. You do boxing and jiu-jitsu as
Correct.
well, don't you?
Correct. We do boxing, jiu-jitsu. We did lucha libre as well. Mexican lucha libre. It's like the Mexican wrestling.
Which is hugely entertaining.
Yeah, and so what we do as well, it's not only like the event, but we're in charge of every single thing from pre-production, marketing, promoting the event. I also developed like the whole team that will be working on the event, from live streaming to everyone who will be assisting from the show side. And after that post-event, we push out all the content and we start marketing for the second version of the event.
Okay, so you obviously have a studio, you have premises, you have licensing to do this, but where did it come from? I mean, where did you think, okay, how did you start financially? Tell me about the genesis, if you like.
So how we started is that we had the space venue and we were doing really good. So the space venue hosts a lot of like all of the major car reveal events.
Okay.
We have also an Audi car reveal next week as well. So
So you were doing this.
yes, so we host those events.
Okay.
And some of the events where we do, such as like the boxing or fighting events, we do them
Right.
in our venue, and we
Right.
use the Space Live Productions to stream it and make sure that everything is smooth with the content as well. So we started with the venue, and then we wanted to introduce some events that can be hosted by us as the venue, as the space, and it went really good, such as the slap fighting and the jiu-jitsu, and people started loving it, and we decided we want to expand, and that's where Space Life Productions came from. So make sure we have the full ecosystem that we can deliver everything from start to finish.
Okay, so how does it make money then? Is it it's an online advertising model, views, impressions? this kind of
Absolutely.
thing?
So
Right.
how it makes money, the venue, of course, makes money by the venue rental. And those, let's say, events, they make money by sponsors. So before the event, we gather all of the info that comes to, let's say, the impressions and what our sponsors can actually gain. And we sell sponsorship packages. And also during live streaming, we put all of the sponsor logos and the placements, and in venue also placements. Our venue is made to be like the most appealing when it comes to sponsors. We have all of this big 60-meter screen or 50-meter screen
Right.
all the way around. So sponsors love it, people love it. We sell the tickets as well. And sometimes we do pay-per-view live stream.
Okay.
So these are for like the King of the Table or arm wrestling events. We do a pay-per-view live stream where audience, they have to pay to watch the live stream, and this can also be a source of income.
So you're all doing this from Dubai. That's where the premise is. That's where the studio is. That's where the stream comes from. Who are your competitors? Do you have competitors here?
The thing is, we're doing a lot of things in a lot of fields. So a direct competitor would be hard to name one, but we can have, let's say, competitors who can offer like live streaming services, or a competitor who can offer a venue. But there is no competitor who can, like, you can walk in today to the space and be like, oh, I want to do a boxing event, and we'll tell you, okay, just have a seat, please. We're getting it ready.
You say there's the boxing ring. I can put that together for you.
We have the boxing ring. We can get you the athletes. We can do all of the medical tests. We will run the show for you. We'll promote the event for you.
Okay.
We'll make everything go from 0 to 100 while just at your comfort.
You know what? You're 23 years old. Most people are not doing this at 23.
I mean, you're right.
No, I mean that in a complimentary way, and also there's an element of surprise in there as well, because you've clearly looked at this and thought, look, if I run this business, tell me if I'm wrong here, but if I run this business this way, I need to have this umbrella control. I need to take control of everything, and then obviously you can build that out.
It all started with curiosity. I'm a very curious person.
Okay.
And I didn't graduate with a full team and like live streaming equipment that I'm ready to just use. No, I started with actually being part of those events as someone who's just covering them as a videographer.
Okay.
And because I'm curious, my interest started building up. Oh, how are these people? I would see like a company hired to live stream the specific event, and I would go behind, oh, how are these people doing that? What is this? What's that? So once I'm back, I use all of my skills to make sure that I know what is every device that's used to make this a thing. And slowly I started going on a smaller scale. I started doing a live stream with a pretty small switcher, a humble switcher. And then when I had bigger projects, I rented the equipment. And then once I started developing a good client base, started buying the equipment and building my own equipment. And with every new piece of equipment you buy, you start to learn more about it. And you open a lot of doors. And this is how it all started. It's just curiosity.
You can do a lot more with a lot less now. I mean, it's really easy to buy a little podcast desk and record podcasts. You can do it for very little money in your own home. And if you can learn to edit, then all of a sudden you are audio podcasting. And then, of course, you need to think about video, because that's the next step. So I can see kind of how that works. I'm curious, though, because you can do a lot more with a lot less. But in the end, you have to scale the business. It becomes labor-intensive equipment. Professional equipment is not cheap. How did you fund that? Was it, I did a job and I put the money in? How did it work?
Also, so as I mentioned, we're involved in a couple of lines of businesses. So when it comes to the venue, the events we have, the fighting events we have, and from there we were able to raise the funds to do space live productions and to make sure that we have the right equipment to cut costs during these events as well. Because back then, when we used to do these events, we could have hired, let's say, a live streaming company and to live stream an event and hire such a full team that can operate at broadcast quality. Yeah, it costs a lot.
Well, it does. Yeah, that's exactly right. So how do you fund like the event space, for example, in the first instance? Rents are not cheap in Dubai, clearly.
True. So that's the thing. So since we have the space venue, we have all of these events that the car launch events where people rent our venue.
Right.
So this is one of the main sources of income, and also our venue is a luxury car storage as well.
Okay, that's useful.
So we store hyper luxury cars, and 2 years ago we had the most unique collection in the world under one roof.
That means serious security as well. So
24/7 security, serious insurance as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. So, and that was yours? That's a family project, or?
No, I'm currently working full time with the space. And we're kind of like a family as well. So we make sure that we really push each other to get the best out of every employee to perform their best.
So everything is really kind of bolted onto the space, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about live streaming. It's kind of simple to do now. We're doing it right now as we speak. We stream, I think we do 6 hours every day here at Mira Business FM at the moment, but reasonably straightforward to do. But live streaming sporting events or, live action, as it were, is a whole another level and obviously a lot more expensive. Tell me about that. Tell me about the difficulties of that.
I'll tell you my favorite live stream that I've done so far and the
Go on.
most challenging one.
Okay.
So we were just launching Space Life Productions, and I was like, I don't want to just launch Space Life Productions with a simple event that I live stream. I want to take it to the next level.
I mean, why make life any easier?
Yeah, and this is when I was contacted by athlete Tony Jeffries. He's a boxing coach,
Okay.
and he wanted to break a world record of the most punches, fully extended punches in 24 hours. And he wanted the whole 24 hours to be live streamed during Ramadan while I was fasting.
Okay, so you really don't take the easy approach, do you?
Kind of.
No.
Yeah.
My first question is, my first thought is we love a world record here in Dubai. There are many records that have been broken. But who watches a guy punching for 24 hours?
2,000 continuous viewers throughout the 24 hours.
2,000 people watched it for 24 hours. Non-stop.
It was
That
over
was
2,000,
that
but
was the
that was
standard.
the standard throughout the 24 hours, the lowest. So when
Wow.
people were sleeping and it was nighttime, there was still 2,000 viewers watching simultaneously.
So consistently, that number of viewers.
And this is for 24 hours. This is a very scary number.
Well, I mean, it's a niche event, isn't it? So that's not going to grab everybody's attention, I suppose. Okay. What about the size of the team that you need to stream an event? I mean, let's take that event as an example. The guy, so just literally punching. What, a bag or
punching a bag for 24 hours straight.
It must have been pretty exhausted. That's a different
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But how many people do you need to do that? What does that entail in terms of the technical stuff behind?
So it depends on the amount of cameras used and the technology you need. What I mean by technology is that do you want, let's say, replays during your event or not? Because replays requires another operator. Do you want the cameras to have to be dynamic to move or not? Because this requires an operator. But to start any live stream, you'll need around, like a professional live stream, you'll need around 5 people.
Okay.
5 to 6 people.
Okay.
That being a live stream director and a sound operator. You will also need someone, let's say, or 2 operators to handle the cameras or someone to set up the cameras. So you need to start with a team of 5 or 6. And then from there, this is the approach that I do. I have my own team, and then whenever we want extra help or extra hands when it comes to operator, we always hire the extra people, such as freelancers, to help us with this project.
The thing about live event production is that it can go wrong pretty easily and it can go wrong pretty fast. Tell me about the pitfalls, the issues that you might have faced. Any stories that you can share?
A lot of stories.
I bet.
Almost a year ago, we did an event in the middle of the desert, a boxing event in the middle of the desert in a place called Liwa.
Famous place.
A very famous place, a very crazy place as well.
Okay.
It's amazing. And we were responsible to do a boxing event over there and the jiu-jitsu event, get the fighters, do the live stream in the middle of nowhere with no direct internet connection.
Okay, I see a few issues with that.
And set up a ring and a full-on boxing event setup over there. And when we were supposed to start, we realized that due to some logistic issues, the ring took some time to reach the venue.
Okay.
We had to set up a full boxing ring in an hour. Build it from scratch.
Okay.
And we always make sure that we are very punctual when it comes to the time of live stream, because we announce like the day before that the live stream is going to start at 4 and there are no chances for delays. So you can imagine for this hour, I had to make sure that all of our equipment is running perfectly and I'm doing my pre-show checks.
Yep.
And also I was looking over the ring being built and making sure the ring is being built at the right time so we can start the show.
The thing is with, I think with anything online, with podcasts, with any kind of production online, the key is to be consistent, but that's the professional approach. If you say a stream is going to start at 5 p.m.
It has to start.
The stream has to start at 5 p.m.
Even if we have no fighters, I don't care. We have to. We'll get any two people just running in the street. They can fight, but the stream is going to start at 5 p.m. There are no any compromises.
There's so much fighting talk today on this. There really is. Look, live content accounts for a significant amount of global viewing time. It's growth that isn't slowing down. This is an area that will grow.
It's growing pretty rapidly.
I bet it is.
At the moment, a live stream is accounting almost 90% of internet traffic, by the way.
90%.
90%.
And give me an idea of growth in the last 5 years. How much has that increased?
In terms of market, around $250 billion. And not only in terms of live streaming, but sales. So a lot of the major companies in China are doing live sales by doing live streaming and offering their products. And so far, last year, I think they raised $480 billion just from that.
I wanted to ask you about that because live streaming commerce is much talked about, and it's clearly going to be an area that we're going to be more and more involved in. If content is engaging and you can product place and sell in that product, it doesn't take a genius to understand that that's going to be a growth area.
It's an amazing area of growth, especially here in Dubai as well. You can find all of these new Chinese car companies, the EV companies. They're taking the same approach. They're doing. I think you can check now. You can open TikTok. They're doing live TikToks and talking about the car, and they're trying to sell it as well. Yeah, and they're getting a lot of inquiries. I monitored the chats. I monitored the interest of the audience, and they're getting interested. They are getting their questions answered on the spot. On the spot. Usually, if you're gonna call let's say any car dealership, I want to ask about this car. All right, then we're gonna connect you to our sales representative, and it will take time. But just at the comfort at your own room, and you can just watch a live video and type a question. Yeah, someone will give you all of these information about that specific car.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of blurring the lines between entertainment and shopping, and that's clearly an area that's going to grow. Recent studies have shown that live stream shopping has outperformed traditional e-commerce in terms of conversion rates and in terms of, I guess, in audience engagement as well. There's just something about it because you don't know what's going to happen.
You're getting live conversions.
Yeah, okay.
That has never happened before.
That's huge. What about? We've got a minute. We've got just a few seconds left. Actually, AI in live streaming. Just give us 30 seconds on that.
This will be the future. Yep. And I believe people will start using some AI to do their own live shopping and live sales through AI. So they will create their own AI character where it will be able to sell their products and do all of that without a human factor and will answer all of the questions. And this will be the future. And every single company will be able to have their own AI character who live streams and does live conversions for them.
We could just sit back and reap the rewards.
Exactly.
I've really enjoyed talking to you. Noor Abdalal is the Managing Director of Space Live Productions. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's Mira Business FM.
Mira Business FM.